In international relations between states in the current era, there is a shift in the power of central action because each country is more interested in managing its own country first, every country for their own. Since COVID and the war in Ukraine, each country so focuses on managing their own country. The decision of many countries to decouple, break away, leaving the Western hegemony is becoming more and more real. We all know the Western hegemony brought by America is forcing the world globally to unite under the dollar. Western economy and Western rule. The New World Order is to follow the rules of America and its Western allies, wrapped in policies of multilateral institutions such as the United Nations, IMF, World Bank, multinational private companies, or basically modern America and the West, and so on. But slowly the world is slowly shifting. The world is aware that it turns out that the only profit is Western hegemony. One of them is building an alliance of economic power. There are 5 countries that are growing fast in BRICS. Namely, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, which are all shortened to BRICS, strengthened by the visit of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa to Saudi Arabia yesterday, where Ramaphosa declared one thing that shocked the world. Join. BRICS was built to fight the hegemony of the West. In the global economic and geopolitical field, the trade area between BRICS countries is only 5% using dollars, the rest is using their respective currencies. It's really a tremendous dollar-busting power in the last 10 years by BRICS. Then what happens if Saudi Arabia joins BRICS? It is better if developed countries join BRICS because the most important factor is developed countries and the main energy security is oil. Developed countries can pay in riyals and whatever it is to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia against America in 1 month already 2 times and will be 3 times with action. The Saudi presence in America for investors at the end of this month, which is an official invitation for the Saudi American government, does not send a delegation of no investment. The Saudis are already a bit angry with Saudi America, first against America by not following Biden's advice, is in OPEC strategy. Ordered to increase production in order for world oil prices to fall, but Saudi Arabia did the opposite with OPEC production fell to 2 million barrels per day. America, actually wanting OPEC to increase production, is America's authoritarian form. But OPEC Plus bravely challenged even lower production, which made oil prices rise, and then MBS made America pay $0.20 more expensive than the general price, subject to America. Then the 2 Saudis expressed interest in joining the BRICS, which will hold a summit at the summit of the BRICS countries in South Africa next year. Saudi Arabia
Royal
is
Highness
applying
the Crown
to become a
Prince
member.
did express to us their desire as Saudi Arabia to be part of BRICS, and he even demonstrated it so nicely and saying there's no need to change the S because the S could stand for South Africa and Saudi Arabia. So they have a great desire, and they are not the only country that is finding the BRICS family or formation attractive because of what BRICS stands for. And so we did say to them, the BRICS nations are going to be meeting in a summit next year under the chairship of South Africa, in South Africa, and the matter is going to be under consideration, and already a number of countries or nations have been making approaches to each of the BRICS members, and we've given them the same answer, that it will be discussed by the BRICS partners themselves, 5 of them, and thereafter a decision will be made.
In principle, BRICS is an alternative power to make each country sovereign, not controlled by Western hegemony. That was the initial principle of the establishment of BRICS, which attracted the interest of many countries to join. Joining the Saudis is a blow to the West. We all know that fellow BRICS countries have trade transactions, each country has used its own currency. So what happens when Saudi petroleum purchases also use their own currency? The dollar decreases,
is one of the biggest
demand for the dollar
in the world,
collapses.
And they are not only focusing on just the pure renewables that we often talk about, but also on hydrogen energy, green energy. And they look at South Africa as being one of the key players in the world on green or hydrogen energy, and they want to partner us. They want to be in that space with us. And of course, a partnership between South Africa and Saudi Arabia, and indeed other countries as well, is going to be a great boon for South Africa, because we have the endowments that play a key role in hydrogen energy, and we want to play to that because we see that in many ways as a game changer. And of course, our unions, the working people in our country who are largely in coal mining areas, are concerned about this transition to renewables, as they must be, because they are concerned about job losses, and we are saying that any transition, any move from fossil fuels, which inevitably is going to happen, must be based on a just transition, and a just transition that is going to take into account the jobs of the people who work on our coal mines.
Both countries have committed to.
And its value will decrease because there are fewer transactions and even foreign exchange. The dollar, which has long been used in transactions with oil because it is called petrodollar, is being challenged by Saudi this time because the strategy to strengthen the rial to become a strong world currency is to buy oil using rials instead of using it. Dollar. Saudi Arabia in the grand prime direction of the Saudi state in 2030 will indeed make many changes, the first to make Saudi a property country. Then building the strongest military force in the region. It just dawned on me, why didn't the Saudis use the rial in the first place? They didn't have to use dollars. Yes, I'm aware now, it's okay, the important thing is to immediately act on de-dollarization.